Welcome to NJIT Math Podcast. My name is Tao Ling. Um, I will try to explain to you what a polynomial is today. It's easiest to learn polynomial through a example. So, for example, let's see. This is a polynomial minus 3x to the 6th power plus 2x to the 5th power plus um, 2x. So here, some defining characteristics of the polynomial is it's always a number. This is called coefficient. Multiplied by a variable and its power, a powered variable. So this number here, 6, is the degree of this particular term, and x is, people usually call it a variable. Okay, so now if someone asks you, okay, what's the coefficients of the degree 5 term? Well, which one is the degree 5 term? First, well, if you look at this number is 5 here, so that means the degree is 5. So if its degree is 5, what about its coefficient? Well, the coefficient is just this number multiplying by the whole thing. So the coefficient is 2. The coefficient of a degree 6 of the degree 6 term is minus 3. The coefficient of the degree 1 term, because this is usually has a 1 in it, x is equivalent to x to the first power. So the coefficient of that term will be 2. Well, what's the coefficient of the degree 0? Well, what's degree 0? Degree 0 is x to the 0th power, which is 1. That means anything that's multiplied by 1. Is there anything multiplied by 1? Not really. So then the coefficient of that term will be 0. So the coefficients of any term that doesn't exist in this polynomial will be 0. In that case, the coefficient of a degree 3, let's say, that the coefficient will be 0. Okay. Now, just a simple example. In the book, if you have the college algebra book, it's in page 32. It's just saying 16t squared is usually a formula used to describe a distance. Given the time t, the variable, if you know what t is, you can find out the distances. Well, by the previous knowledge, we know that 16 is the coefficient and 2 is the degree. So this is the simplest formula. If you know what t is, let's say it's 5. Now the distance will be 16 times 5 squared, because you plug in 5 for t. Will give you 16 times 25, which is 400. Okay, in feet. So this is the simplest example. Sometimes you'll have more terms, but it's still polynomial. Another case will be 16t squared plus 10t. This number multiplied by t in physics is usually called v0, or initial velocity. Which is usually given in the problem, just like the example. So this is just a little bit more complex, has one more term, polynomial, but the solution is still, the way to solve it is still the same. If you know what t is, you simply plug in the t for 16t squared and 10t. Plug in the 5 for t. So you'll have 16 times 5 squared plus 10 times 5. And this will give you, do the calculation yourself, and you'll get 450. And that's all there is to know about polynomials. Uh, well, there's more, but this might be sufficient for now. So thank you for looking at this podcast, and I hope you good luck with your study.